I understand that there are a lot of negative things that can be said about black men, especially some of the younger black men in their generations. Of course, I'm 44 and I was in the generation 20 years ago when everybody was talking about how violent or how silly young black men are. But now I'm in that age group that's listening to what people are saying about the new generation. And I came across this particular clip that got me thinking.
Like, maybe I'm too woke, but I don't find the quarters funny because I also didn't find it funny a couple years ago when all those black men put on suits and then stood around in suits. I don't understand what men in general, but especially black men's obsession is with defining themselves by their clothing and not really actively doing any. It's not deeper than just like, well, we can put on suits. I can also put on a suit. What is the point that you're trying to make here? Like, it's like costume. Like, let's dress up as the social idea of success or productivity or decent, productive human being. I don't know. I don't even understand what y'all are trying to communicate to us. Y'all are constantly like essentially dressing up as white men. Like, that's kind of the underlying idea. Suits, quarter zips, like associating yourself with this like stereotypically white style. Hello? Do y'all not see how that's, one, offensive to you as a black person, upholds white, but is also reductive of your like humanness? I don't know. It's like everything all the time with them. Nothing latches.
Now, this black woman, I don't know how old that she is, okay? But I can just remember when women were complaining about these young black men that had, Nike tech suits, these Pooh Shiesty masks on. And so you have these young black men out here. They have the quarter zip trend. They have a tie on. They're drinking, it looks like something like coffee. And this young woman is upset with this. The whole time she's talking down on these black men about their appearance. She has a two-toned blonde and dark brown weave, like very similar to like Rottweiler spots. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's kind of what it looks like to me. Got him! And she's saying to these young men that you are trying to be white. Now, the more things change, the more they remain the same. And I know that so many of you brothers out here who grew up in the black community, God forbid that you were trying to be somebody that was intelligent. God forbid you were trying to be somebody that was trying to go to college or trying to have a job, depending on how far in the inner city that you lived in. People tended to talk down to you because you wanted to present yourself as something decent in black America. This was something that largely was true when I was coming up, and as it appears, it's something that's largely true now. On one end, if you're a dude, you don't work, you're not being progressive, you don't have your stuff together, you're a Pooky, you're a Ray Ray, you're a bum. Then if you're trying to get yourself together, there's a problem. Okay. Now I'm mentioning this because I understand that not all black women are like this, but again, there is such a hypocrisy, and I want to applaud these young black men for trying to be different, not trying to look like they're everybody else, being young black men, trying to be respectful, looking like, they want to go someplace in their life. And one of the reasons why I think that women like this have an issue with that, because you will become too marketable. And this is one thing that black men in general, young black men and middle-aged black men, when you look like you have yourself together, you're too marketable, all right? Because you're gonna have still those level of black women that like you. And then you know what? The other races of women also appreciate you. And this is a scare. This is an insecurity blanket that some of these sisters are putting out there. Because if you black men start dressing like you got some sense, then all of a sudden, you're not just hood. You're still black. That cool guy image is there, right? It being black. But now you match that up that you're black, and some of the brothers, women think they look good, they got game. Now all of a sudden, you're looking like you got your stuff together. You got your finances together. So sisters just can't keep putting you in that box. And so when they want to go out there and tell everybody that you don't have it together, you're stupid, you're silly. And again, this is not all sisters, but you're out there appealing to other groups of women, including black women, including women in the diaspora. Because I'll tell you one thing, being that I'm here in Uganda, I can tell you that a lot of black women that don't come from the hashtag FBA community think that it is very attractive for a young man to look like that or a man to dress like that. Okay? I'm talking about some of the most thickest, big behind, big topped, beautiful women, and many of them are in the States. They come from the Dominican Republic, they come from Africa, they come from the Caribbeans. They'll have a different opinion about what she's saying, those black Colombians, because see, they want to see a man looking like that. They respect a man dressing like that. See, that's something that is a cool thing for a lot of black men, okay? And then when you talk about putting a black man in a box, this is exactly what they're talking about. This is what happens. Because so many people want to limit black men and say you're trying to be white, but the moment that you get yourself out there, guess what? Their dating options start freezing up, and then now all of a sudden you're the bad guy. Let me tell you something. It's called insecurity. If you want to sit up there with a two-tone dusty weave up there, and you want your man to be dusty and pushiesty up, go ahead. But I'm telling you, a lot of the black men are tired of living up to them shady ass standards, all right? Because you ain't going nowhere with that. Looking like Pooky don't get you nowhere. Looking like you're competent gets you more places. And for those women in the black community that don't like a man like that, guess what? You're not missing nothing. And I want to talk about that too because it is so important. Let me just build on that. Coming from black America, where, a lot of the brothers are late bloomers. I came from Del Paso Heights, and, a lot of the most attractive ladies, they like the football players and things like that. And so a lot of young men get discouraged. And one of the reasons why a lot of young men get discouraged is because they don't feel like they have a real opportunity. And one of the reasons why men feel like they don't have a real opportunity is because, I'm not hood enough. All you got to do is get out of that shit, okay? You go to anywhere else outside of your community into the real world. God forbid you leave the country. You go over to Europe. You come over to Africa. You come into Middle America, all right? Outside of the black community. And whoa, all of a sudden, there are your suitors. You got women coming up there talking to you, okay? Meanwhile, those same chicks who didn't want you, once they get pregnant once or twice, it's over for them, okay? They got what they wanted. And then when these black men start really seeing what's going on, they go to HBCUs. And yes, even at HBCUs, you got plenty of black women out there that recognize a black man that's functional. Everything ain't got to be dysfunctional in black America. You got plenty of black women. See a black man doing well, see a black man doing good, and want to be a part of that. Want to have something stable. Not every chick wants to have a dude in black America getting their doors kicked in because Pooky out there selling crack rocks and all that stuff. Nobody has time for that. And I just really, really, really hope that the women that feel like this get over your insecurities. Get over your insecurities. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all you do. We're out.